everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing Marvel Mystic Mayhem. For today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about the 1 week of gameplay. It was technically more than 1 week, of course, but I really played fairly lightly for some of the time, but I think it's a pretty fair representation of what we have to accomplish. Alright, there were definitely a few days within my week of gameplay that I barely did anything, so I wanted to play a little longer. And talking about first impressions and thoughts on this game, well, one of the big bummers is this game does not have its own PC client, so here we are on BlueStacks. You guys can use BlueStacks for all of your emulator needs, and well, I was already using it before I thought to give it a proper promo. So this is a really perfect app just to do the basics. It's got great features for those of you that do the auto clicking and all that fancy stuff, depending on the TOS of game allowances, of course. But at the very least, I'm always using it to take screenshots and honestly just being able to play it on the PC. So sometimes these emulators can be really wonky with games, but so far I had no lag, no trouble, no crashes whatsoever using BlueStacks to play this game, so I can honestly endorse it, and it's how I've been playing from the start. Login-wise, they have these 7-day missions that unlock each day, but you don't have to complete them in 7 days, which is really nice. You also don't have to do every single one. I am 1 mission away from getting that free Storm character. So that's super cool. I think she's a bit underrated. She actually sounds pretty awesome, and I've heard people give her love. Ignore tier list is also what I've heard. But yeah, anyway, so from the very beginning, they give you a 7-day mission list, and that's super helpful to guide you into what you should be doing, alongside of the normal daily missions, which you don't have to do that much of. There's always extra stuff, and you get all your rewards. You don't actually have to do every single thing to get your top. And then same thing here, there are these main missions that kind of guide you, like progress missions. And once you complete one stage, you move on to the next here. You get a bunch of summons and you make your Hulk better. I love Hulk, by the way. And yeah, it kind of gives you a guide of like what you should be doing to focus on doing all of these and the 7-day missions, and you're going to be in a pretty good state. But I think my first impression of the game overall was I instantly liked it more than I thought I was going to, including the graphics as well. Like, this is obviously based on a comic franchise, the comic-focused franchise, so I expect it to be a little bit cheesy, and yeah, there's times it is. But it's actually pretty cool overall. Actually, the graphics and stuff grew on me, which I'll talk about a little bit in a moment. But overall, I thought the system sounded fun as far as the basics of the character, like elemental stuff, like physical versus special damage. There's these different hero types, and of course the different type here as well with their role. The role and the type, I guess, would be what they're called. Or what are they called? Is there a filter for this? Hero type, hero class. There we go. Hero type and hero class. That's the proper term. And the progression for characters seemed pretty interesting, with a little bit of value toward dupes, which was pretty cool. I would say my first impression was it was surprisingly difficult. When I was going through the initial story, I actually had a hard time 3-starring some of it in the beginning, which I think was kind of, I guess, refreshing, because it made it so you couldn't just instantly, I guess, throw auto and walk away and be like, yeah, I'm just blasting it all. You couldn't. You kind of had to take the time to see, like, look, I missed a 3-star down here for another summon. It's fine. I'll go back and do that later. Or not. But yeah. It made you take a step back and actually manual some battles and really learn the game. One thing that's also pretty cool with this, I think, is as you go along, there are these tactical challenges that pop up, which this doesn't show, but they do. I wish it would show those tactical challenges in between so I could give you an example of what they were, but as you're doing the main story, it'll pop up with something that like teaches you some mechanics of the game, which is really nice. So the story, the actual lore, the story itself, is it good? Is it interesting? I would say from the beginning, I kind of liked it and it seemed fun, but I definitely stopped paying attention over time. It has, of course, a comic vibe, which is exactly what's to be expected, but it's a cool, nostalgic art, kind of fun. But I don't know, I feel like maybe if I was more into Marvel as a fan of more than just the movies here and there, then maybe I would have been more interested overall in the actual story itself. But what I really did like is the overall premise of it. Now, in my first video, I read through the developers, like a dev talk type thing, where they described the dream realm. They described this universe that they were creating, where these heroes have to face their worst nightmares. And what would that look like? What would this alternate universe of New York City look like? And I think that premise was actually pretty cool. So even if you're not a Marvel fan, I feel like you could certainly enjoy it for what it is, even if a lot of these characters are not familiar to us as a light Marvel fan, sorry. But if you are a Marvel fan, I think the idea must be pretty intriguing from the overall thought that went into this. I think it didn't feel too generic, honestly. I thought it sounded clever, and I think the lore is important in a game like that. But equally, you can story skip very easily if you don't care at all about the story. That's important too. Not everyone cares about the story. Some people just want to get straight into the battle mechanics and progress, do PvP, get on the leaderboards, get into clans, alliances, all that fun stuff. And it does allow you to do that, so thumbs up on being able to skip the story. Now, if you skip the story, like, can you enjoy it later? So, okay, there's the story here, there's a plot review, you could skip, right? Can we go back and enjoy the story? That was one thing that I couldn't really tell. So, okay, if I enter the last one, I can literally do it all again, but I don't want to do it all again. I think it would be nicer if there was a better sort of archive to enjoy a story like this, like you would sit down and go through like a digital comic. That's one thing I think that this game is lacking, being that it is comic-based, and there is a genuine, interesting, clever story with it, that there should be some sort of, let's go and read it again. Now, there's the gallery for the things you get, artifacts, there's the bonds between them, there's a little bit of lore to be had there, there's achievements, there's a guidebook for how to understand the game, but yeah, I don't see, unless I'm missing something, please comment below. I don't see a way to can I just like watch only the story in a row like I'm reading a digital comic? I think they should have done that a little bit better in a logical manner for the order that they want you to consume it. But unfortunately, it looks like the only way to reconsume it is to go back through and just do the story stages. I guess you could probably skip the battles or exit out, but it might get a little bit annoying. All right, next up, yeah, is the graphics. So we have to talk about graphics because that's important in these kind of games too. It's got great comic vibes, right? They got the font. There's definitely some really fun styling to their art too. It's cartoony, but it's interesting, right? I think that's something like, okay, she's one of my favorites. She looks really cool. But does she look a little bit cheesy? Is it super high quality drawing? Not necessarily, but they are going for that nostalgia with the comics too. That is literally what the dev said in one of the interviews, is they want the nostalgic old comic vibe. So I think they did that pretty well. The art on the cards is pretty cool, actually. I quite like these. I feel like they are like comic book covers or posters that you'd have on your wall, right? I feel like all of them are actually pretty interesting. I love them. That's probably some of my favorite art in this game is actually their skills. I think they're pretty cool. These would be collectible, like downloadable backgrounds or art we could buy. Would be really smart of them. The UI is pretty friendly. There's nice effects as you do things, like as you click something and go into it. There's nice little motion there. The actual story itself, let's just go here. Again, you can see the art like I showed in the last part is it's got a very specific style, which I think it's solid. If that's what they're going for, maybe they're targeting a little bit older audience that used to read these comic books instead of the newer audience that maybe only watches the movies. It might be a little less into the works there, right? But the vibes are cool, and taking it for what it is, a franchise based around a comic, I think it's pretty solid. All right, so let's look at hero progression. So the different characters have these types, like she's controller versus striker. They're different damage types. We have the fighter and defender. And then there is also this energy, weaponry. That affects the way that their skills are, right? Mutation, they gain power from genetic mutation. But yeah, it's kind of like an elemental affinity type system, but it's not quite that simple in this game. In this game, it's really just physical damage dealing versus magic damage dealt, or special damage. Sorry, not magic. Special damage. I always want to call it magic. I apologize. But yeah, you'll see that heroes with the orange are physical damage and heroes with the blue are special damage. That's more the elemental advantage type system. In the other games that have like strong versus weak hits or advantages to crit or whatever, that kind of shows that. And yeah, you can see in general, I like the little overviews they have about what these skills are. Like this is a debuff, this is this was a heal, right? Heal, debuff, their ultimate. I think he has an attack. Just the normal ones are just an attack, debuff, whatever. Pretty basic there as far as what they do, but there's definitely a lot of synergy to think about with these teams so far. I think there's enough variety that would keep most people pretty well interested as far as the progression and being able to build your characters, because you can choose to go a couple different ways. So, okay, details. You obviously just level up your characters. You can rank up their star ratings to give them better stats using evolution materials. The overall levels obviously increase along with that, and there's caps based on your stars. The gearing is really these artifacts. So, like, we have all of these other artifacts here. I don't have much yet. Honestly, I really haven't farmed this part of the game. I didn't really stress that as I was progressing for the week. And yeah, that is kind of your option. So you get 2 artifacts, and they have basic stat increases along with a special ability. Some of them are a little bit more complicated as we get into the higher tier ones, but I only have the basic ones right now. But you can see their overall stats for your character with this overview button. It does make that easy to see how these artifacts are affecting your actual character if you want to compare to boost certain stats. So I really like to see that for building your characters. Talent-wise, you can choose to work on your skills. I feel like are the clear priority, but you are level capped by those depending on what. Like, yes, I have the material, but I'm not high enough level, so I have to wait. Then there's also this little mini like talent tree, like a lot of games have, just a very small version of it. And again, you're just capped by levels for those as well. Then there's highlights. So this obviously, if you guys play some of those Asian games like Honkai Star Rail light cones, this is kind of like that. It's your fancier version of a weapon, or your artifact, or your exclusive weapon. There's a lot of other types of this, I guess, material in games that are similar. But yeah, these have more complicated, more interesting uses, and they all have kind of their exclusive, but you can certainly use them on heroes that you don't have. Like this has an additional effect when it's equipped on Moon Girl, because it's her exclusive highlight. But you still have the overall, like, the wearer's attack and HP is increased by whatever, and blah, 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 blah. So that can definitely still benefit someone else. Like, I had this one on my Iron Man because I don't have Iron Man's artifact yet, so he's using hers. But as you'll see, she's an epic. And the epics don't have the special bonus for the highlights like the legendary ones do here. So that is also another thing to keep in mind with this. I didn't go crazy leveling up the blue ones. I took some to 10, but I didn't really feel worth it because we start getting the purple ones instead of higher rarity. Soul Saga is another way to diversify your characters. You could choose which way you go first. There's the mind or the heart. And like these are sometimes they're like the physical for this one crit rate. And I thought it would be more obvious of heart and soul and mind, like, okay. But really it's like just different upgrades. It's not like this is all related to energy regeneration and this side's related to damage. It's like, no, this one, where is it? Was it 2? Increases physical damage by 8%, increases crit rate by 12%. I would think that would be on the same side, but I guess they try to have some basic increases or boosts as well on the stage 2. So fair enough. Maybe that's just their way of balancing it out. But yeah, instantly gains stacks of a charge versus this costing less mana. See, like they really seem so similar as far as regeneration versus whatever. So I don't really see too much difference in heart versus mind. It's just whatever skills you want to unlock first, or whatever, not skills, but aspects you want to unlock first. And I'm sure there are clear answers for this is the most impactful to get to as fast as possible, or this is the most impactful, you know, but I have not worried too much about that personally for my account, as far as which ones I chose, because I knew I wasn't going to be keeping the account long term. All right, there is obviously a ton of content options in the game. The basic story is the campaign mode, and there's 2 different types. There's stem and branch. As far as different runs to do about the same time, you kind of bounce back and forth for the most part though. But this comes into play a lot more in the beginning, and it really gets you involved with the actual lore of the game too. Memento is a bit interesting. There's like these challenges that are honestly a bit rough, some of them, but like some of them I didn't do yet. But they're tactical challenges that kind of teach you the mechanics of the game. Some are extremely picky, and it kind of drove me crazy, not gonna lie. So these you go in and you can dispatch characters, and there are multiple platforms. You got to use like less than 6 clears. But if you decide to do multiple battles, you can only use those characters in that battle. Like if I go here, which would be after purifying one of the other spots, they go 1, 2, grab the chest. And then if I wanted to grab this before going to the boss, you can't use the heroes in the same battle again before doing the main boss fight. So that's something interesting to keep in mind, is they do give you reasons to build a lot of heroes and not just only work with one core team for the whole game. You definitely need to diversify your choices, which I certainly think is good, or else it would get boring pretty fast. Nightfall is always open daily, but they change out the boss, where you can see there's like a 10 days left as of my recording. And there are always a different boss, different mechanics. So you're going to have different recommended heroes going on in there. And these you get to do 5 attempts every day. So I need to push harder. And now that I have a much better account, 30 shouldn't be so hard. Crimson Campaign was the other one we were already at. Yeah, this is the roguelike mode here regarding getting those extra rewards. Battle Bonanza is your place to just farm some of the basic materials in the game, like your gold or experience. Treasure hunt here. We have the different materials depending on your class of hero that you're trying to rank up. And then Rune Raid there as well, same thing. These are depending on the types of the heroes. So these are like energy, cosmic, weaponry, mutation, just another resource for enhancing the skills for this one, I should say, not rank up. Those are for skill farming, which is pretty cool to just be able to farm skills. And then Fabled Finds are like farming for gear. It's farming for those artifacts that can take up 2 slots. and the higher you get, of course, the better options you're going to have chances at getting the rarer items. One thing I really like here is that you can actually use these kind of skip tickets in content, so combat simulators. So this is like, okay, I want to get some more of this one. Oh, don't judge that I haven't pushed it higher. Oh, it's locked. I can't. You want to use 6 of these? You want to instantly do them? You check the box and it becomes using those items. And you just auto win and get the reward. It's like a skip ticket, like an idle RPG would tend to have. So I like that it has that element. I feel like this game is very friendly for limited time, short-term investment, like per day type players. In battle, you can see there's often the option for an auto battle on or off. And then there is 1x or 2x speed. There is a menu where you can pause, retry, go to settings. You can see the details of your characters and what their skills are, as well as the enemy. So this is one thing that's really annoying. I don't like that when you go to the battle, you can't see much, but you can see what you're in the battle, although that doesn't really help you prepare very much. So I found that kind of silly in some cases, but it's definitely not perfect. Settings-wise, takes you to your full settings. So if you're in the middle of a battle and you're like, ah, shit, I need to mute this so I could watch a YouTube video, you can do that. So I really like that that option is here too. And then, yeah, you can see your objectives to 3-star something and how much other, how many enemies, sorry, are coming still. But that's kind of the basics of the interface. It's pretty simple, nothing too crazy overall. One thing that's a bit confusing in this game is the weak versus the strong hits in the gameplay. Strong is weak. Yes, so resist is bad, weak is good, which is definitely confusing compared to other games, I would say. Normally you don't want to get a weak hit, which is usually when you're at the elemental disadvantage, or in this case damage type disadvantage or advantage. But weak is actually good. I don't know that I like that because I just find it super confusing compared to like everything else I've played. They're doing it different, and different doesn't always mean good. It just means you confuses your players sometimes. And also like Hulk here, you see the orange, but normally he is blue as a character for that physical magic damage type. And that changes depending on the fight. So just because you're going against Hulk doesn't mean he's going to be blue. They actually tell you at the beginning, like, you should use the certain type of character in that fight, or what the enemies are going to be. So while they do make it pretty obvious and it's pretty easy to deal with, where the red is just a neutral enemy to fight, it can be a little bit confusing when the terms are so different, at least for me, compared to other games I've played. Maybe some of the other Marvel games use the term weak when it's a good thing. I'm not quite sure though, honestly. I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, a little bit confusing. There is something to know about account progression. Like, as you get experience doing your dailies and main missions, you level up your overall account with this XP, but you run into these trials along the way that make you do a special battle before you could even continue. So if you get stuck on this specific battle, then you can't even continue, even if you have plenty of experience and you overflow. So like I had forgotten to go back to do the last one, and then I did it, and then I got like 3 more levels ahead because I was stocking up your XP. That is the good thing. It doesn't make you lose the XP at least, but it is something to keep in mind, right? Like, you definitely want to do it as soon as you can to keep progressing and get the rewards for each account update. But I like to try it on full auto first, and if I fail, I'll do it again on manual, but why not give it a try on full auto and see how we do? It is kind of silly. The auto is definitely not the best at times. The targeting can be really funny, or the first move, it'll choose to heal when you have no health gone, just because it's the cheapest skill to use and it's available. So I think it can be a little bit weird. Like, it just uses something as soon as you can. It doesn't always wait until the best option. Like, Iron Man's skill that's 4 instead of 3 cost is a lot better than using all these random skills instead, but it doesn't wait. It's not patient always for that, so it can be a little bit interesting there. But see, like, this time it knew we needed to heal, so it did wait for the heal. it's quirky. It's not perfect, but sometimes it's okay. Alrighty, now the summoning system. So I already had a summoning video. If you didn't see my last video, you could see that more in detail. And yeah, I think it seems pretty fair in comparison to other games. I wouldn't say anything sounds crazy. So this is like a rate up banner. There's a 50% chance to drop this character, or 50% chance to drop those two characters, which actually is pretty generous. But there's a 2% possibility to get a 3-star overall, and then a 50% chance that if you drop it, it's that person, I should say. But there's not very many legendary, aka 3-stars in the game, so there's only so much to choose from, or for to have happen. 2-star possibilities, 25% chance to drop, and then we do have highlights, aka weapons like cones, whatever, on the banners as well. So this is I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but there are not a lot of characters in this game, so it's not like there's a bunch of rare and lower tier rarity heroes. There's not 1-star heroes and less or whatever. There's just the weapon equivalents. So I guess this kind of makes sense that it would be on the same banners. So the rules here are pretty much, I'm going to scroll slowly in case anybody really wants to read every single detail. But you get a probability of 2% to pull a 3-star hero, and as you hit, there's a soft pity that starts at 50 pulls. It increases a little bit, and then at 80, you're guaranteed 100% chance to gain a 3-star hero. So if you watched my summoning video, I actually did pull a 3-star hero at 80 pulls exactly, and that also gave me, here, like on this banner here, they're both kind of the same as far as the standard banner and the rate up banner, as far as those other rates go. At 80, I pulled a hero, and then at 80 out of 80, also, I got to choose a random hero or a highlight. So those are two separate things. So yeah, again, the details here are the same rules as far as the percentages go, and the pity at 80. The only difference is just that extra rate up if you do pull a legendary. I mean, 3-star. So that's kind of it. The maximum exclusive points are 160. After exceeding 160, no additional points can be obtained. Accumulate 80 exclusive points to exchange a 3-star. Oh, okay. You can do this 2 times. Yeah. So you can only do this special things 2 times. I've already done it once. If I hit another round of 80 pulls, that's it. I can't use this special bonus anymore. But I like it. It's a way to get some more stuff, at least for your very first time. If you, like, I pulled this one, so I don't know that I would choose a random highlight again because I don't want to just get another one I already have. Plus, you can actually get them from the shop, so it might not have been the best choice. But yeah, let me just do one quick summon for those that missed the other video. See the animation. So it's pretty cool. I do have the sounds off right now. I probably should have turned them back on. I'm sorry. It's part of the experience, but I failed. But yeah, that is it. Of course, I got a low tier highlight as the example. It's fine. That's kind of, yeah. And then, oh, there are these character trials. So by doing a hero trial, just testing out the character in a battle, you get a little bonus as well. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about doing that right now. We're just going to continue on. But that's kind of it with the summoning system. There's a shop. Oh yeah, I guess that we can mention this and it will tie in later. But there is a shop for when you summon, you get this dust, the sand, and you can get more summons by doing that. So it's kind of like a cashback system. And then you can use it to grab the resources you need the most while you're working on leveling up your characters. Here's really nice because you can like guarantee getting like the highlight you want, I think would be the best choice. Or if you're like, okay, I have enough for 7 of these great keys. If I was 7 away from getting another, you know, hitting that 80 for Iron Man, then that would be a good choice, right? Like if I just needed to do one more 5 pull to get Iron Man, I would just buy these keys and make sure I guarantee that, so then I could choose the system. So there is the dupe system with duplicates, of course, being the souls like I showed. But here the way to guarantee getting, or the only way to get, is it the only way to get it, or is it going to go to the pool afterward? But as of now, the only way to get the rate up light cone is, yeah, during the rate up event for that character. I don't see any of these special legendary, I keep calling them light cones, sorry, highlights. And on the other summons right now. If you look here again, in the details, they don't show chances to get 3-star highlights. So I think there's only a few unique ways to get them, including those rate up banners, like these, to get the ones that go along with them when you do 80 pulls. So it's probably best in this game to save your special pulls along with your dream gems to get 80 on the banner for a hero you really want. And then just save up your shadow keys here and pull whenever the hell you want. I don't think, as of now, it doesn't seem to be a reason to save, but maybe that will change in the future. I'm not sure. All right, so we have events to talk about as well. There is this Bifrost Brawl. There's different rankings as you go through. It's kind of like an arena type deal. Nothing too crazy there. You can check the rules, you set a defense, and then you just go through and, yeah, attack other players. Simple enough. And then the cool part is just as you do it, you're going to unlock some really nice rewards as well. Flourishing Dream is just showing that there's a 2x event going on for resources. 5 out of 5, I did not realize like I had to use it here. So this is good to see. So like if I know I really want to farm more of a specific thing, we could use that and go into a battle and just, you know, take advantage of the rate up for the resources. Dragon Armor is like a clan boss, guild boss type feel event. So this one is the current one. It changes every so often. This is the second one we've had. And you can attack it 5 times per day. Simple enough. Interesting. So the only thing I would say that's really annoying is I already did the auto battle yesterday for like easy. Why can't I just quickly do 5 easy ones again and be done with it? Why not? I don't know why it won't let me do that. But anyway, yeah, you have to attack it once per day at the difficulty, and then you can do like 4 more attempts with an auto battle if you want. I'm gonna have to do the hard one. And this is the coolest event of them all, Time Reversal. You can reset your heroes and highlights and start fresh. During the event, you can reset heroes to level 1 for free unlimited times with all upgrade materials refunded. All of them. So this is just a much, much better version of the way Dragonair Silent Gods did their reset period, which was very limited to a week. This was a whole month. This is what I said Dragonair should do, a whole month of this. But yeah, you can just do it as many times as you want, how often you want, whatever, for the whole time. So if you want to test out certain characters and see how synergies work and you're not sure, you can just reset your heroes, do it, and you're good. I love that. It's such a cool event. It allows you to have a lot of fun and experiment early on before you commit to the high levels and expensive investments to move forward with your account. And then the other events are just these basic like binding ones, bind your email, go to Discord, go to the socials, invite friends type stuff. There is a 7-day mission set that's more like progress missions like I showed, and this is pretty cool. I'll finish off this Nightfall one today and I'll get that Storm as well. That's really fun. And then other, I guess you could kind of say events. It's just as you go along in the story and do some certain stuff, you're going to get free characters just by completing stuff. By completing stuff. So like, okay, how do I get armor? Here by doing the story. So by doing a lot of the story, you can see there's free characters along the way, which is definitely cool to help flesh out the roster or get the dupes that we need. I noticed the challenges don't unlock right away. This kind of feels like an event, but it's not. It's like an ongoing battle. So leap into the swirling dream vortex and face endless challenges. Thrive with sharp skills and even sharper tactics. I haven't even started this one yet. But it just looks like, yeah, you just keep progressing to harder and harder and harder stages. The rewards are pretty nice along the way. Lots of summons as you hit different milestones, so that's good to see. And yeah, level 40, you see the levels are getting pretty high right away. Level 46, 41, 41, 40. So this doesn't unlock right away. I think this will unlocked at like level 40. So yeah, I didn't even start playing that yet. There's a friend system, of course, too, by the way, guys. Just a quick shout that out. So, of course, there are friends, and there is an alliance system. The alliance system is just that, though. You have an alliance, and you do your dailies, and you get points, pretty much. You use energy, you do your dailies, that's it. So there are rewards overall. Like, you can show contribution, making sure people are actually doing the stuff and the things. That's about it, though. It's interesting because I kind of expected more, but then what they don't show you is that there are weekly rewards. I'm so confused. Like, when you look at rewards, you don't even see, like, what's the weekly rewards. You don't see anything about it. There's a weekly limit, okay. The higher the weekly contribution, the more dream spheres someone's gonna get. A weekly reward that you'll get every Monday, right? So, but where are those weekly rewards? It doesn't even show the example. However, I did get one. Alliance Reward Settlement. I got Dream Spheres. I got 4 of them. And then they open and you get a whole bunch of stuff. I got like Alliance Currency. And then I got like a bunch of artifacts and keys and stuff. I don't even know what I got. I don't remember what I got. But I really thought it was going to show everything. But apparently it doesn't. So that's a little bit of a weird, I guess, critique here, as I don't really like that. The rewards are not very clear for even being in an alliance. It almost feels pointless. But there is this alliance shop. Now, I went from 300 credits to 600 credits after the weekly reset just by being semi-active in my alliance. So I have a ton more resources now to be able to purchase some of this. So I definitely will. One random artifact is 600, though. That seems like a lot for a random epic one. But maybe I'll use my stuff on more of these higher rarity ascension materials or something. I don't know. I'll just see what I need the next time I want to level up a character, and that will be it. Okay, so we saw the shop currency stuff related to the summoning, right? And then I just showed you there's an alliance shop as well, right? Boom. Alliance shop to get skill up materials and rank up materials, and even some shards for characters to get their dupes. The system here gives you summons as well as resources, and then same thing, summons as well as resources for summoning. But there's also this produce thing here, which is really cool. So this is something I wish like Watcher of Realms had, where you could take like the lower level skill dust and turn it into higher level skill dust. If you play Watcher of Realms, you know what I mean. So this is what they have here, which is just perfect. You turn 21 of or 3 of these into one of these, 3 of those into one of those, and 3 of those into one of those. Simple enough. You also can just scrap and do the opposite. You could take the bigger amount and turn it into the lower amount. It could literally do the opposite if you needed that. If you don't want to go back and farm a lower stage for no reason and waste your energy, so that's pretty smart. And then there's also the other materials here for, I guess, you know, the ascension of different characters. Yeah. Pretty nice, simple system there. That's kind of a shop currency, I would say. But the other shop currency, so they do give you like a little weekly, here it is, a weekly, oh wait, I already have max. I have max stamina again. They give you free weekly stuff, but you can only buy so much, like recharging with diamonds, so keep that in mind. It only lets you do a little bit once per week with a restore of power. They very much limit your actual consumption here, unless you... Apparently you could spend and turn those into that, but what about energy, right? What about energy? I find it really weird how much they limit the energy. Let's see, how can I see it? Here. So when I go to add energy, you can convert. But you can only do this, okay, here it is. So you can buy the cheaper version in the shop, or you can exchange this 8 times in one day. So you can use your dream gems for energy. It's just a very limited amount, but that's still a lot of gems to be fair, so that's plenty, I think, to let people play. And then there's, yeah, paid currency is the dream stones, and you can buy packs with that as well, or you can just straight up buy summons with, oh, you saw when you do your summons, it's 150 per key. Simple enough there. There's of course some fun packs and extra special bonuses, or like these hot offers. Oh, it's showing me US dollars. Why did it start showing me US dollars? I'll take it. Perfect. $1 there, just $1 for Angela plus this cool frame. I would totally buy a cool cosmetic for $1, right? Why not? And then, yeah, pretty decent value, $5 for 5 summons plus a cool avatar and some other stuff. That sounds like great value to me. Overall, oh, and the Captain America one, if you're a Captain America fan, that looks very cool. Yeah, I like this. I think this seems like solid value compared to other gachas at first glance. And yeah, it's not a crazy shop. There are a bit of pop-ups when stuff happens, like they try to get you to buy that Angela pack and some stuff like that, but it's not too crazy, so the monetization doesn't seem overly aggressive. It just seems like they try to get you to buy energy in this game because they limit your energy. But I feel like this game's more made for a chill player, maybe a busy lifestyle type thing. And this caters very well because there's a lot of great quality of life, like I mentioned previously. Okay, so I guess there's that final thought, right? So I played for over a week and I grinded and I enjoyed it, yes. But it's like, how is it? Would I continue? There's all those kind of questions. I think, yeah. I honestly think this is a game I would enjoy playing longer term and get more into if I had the time. But you guys know how it is. Like, I've been a full-time content creator for a while. I can only play so many games. So if I'm gonna play something, it has to be like the greatest game I've found in like forever that I have to play no matter what. Like how I feel about Reverse 1999. It has to be that good. Or it's so easy to, I mean, this is easy to play on the side where I could half pay attention and still keep up with it, honestly. But I also feel like this game, the only thing it lacks, my final thought would be lacking community and supporting content creators. And they don't just seem to be very on top of stuff. Like, you can't even select this game as a YouTube category because they haven't made sure they had a wiki page created. They're not on Steam, which is fine. Neither is Godforge with Fateless. We're not going to be on Steam either. But damn straight, we're going to make sure our wiki page is sorted and we have a category on YouTube. Like, how can you start your game global launch and you didn't even make sure you have a category on YouTube? And if you don't, how would you not look into it? Like, I was the one to tell them, like, you have to make a wiki page. Someone has to make you a wiki page and have articles written where you can have that verified wiki page, and then YouTube will automatically populate it. But they don't even have where you could select this as a game category. I've seen no advertising whatsoever for this game, and there really doesn't seem to be a content creator program. There seems to be some sort of, like, I don't know, like some sort of apply to join our program and then whatever, but then it's like a competition of people tagging stuff and getting very small amounts of money if you have the highest views, which people can just pay for views and bot that and cheat the system anyway. But then it's not worth it because the money's low. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they really have much as far as community and content creators going for this. So as a content creator, I wouldn't overly choose to cover a game that I don't feel super supported in unless I was just so madly in love with it that I had it to, which I didn't expect to be. Honestly, I thought I would. So that's another final thought, I guess, is I thought I would hate this game. Not hate it, but just be like, ugh. So it's cheesy, it's bad graphics, it's meh, I just don't care, am I done with it yet? But I actually think it's really good overall. I just think it's lacking a little bit of community and advertising, and I don't know. I just don't have time. God of War just starting our alpha, so if I had to play another game consistently, it would be because it's a sponsorship or because it just grabbed me so hard that I'm obsessed and it's completely my style. This is totally not my style of a game. Like, I can appreciate how much fun and interesting this could be for a Marvel fan, especially. Same thing with Marvel Strike Force. That game has like hundreds and hundreds of characters. You could make so many teams and experiment and really play with your favorites. That's a great game for a Marvel fan especially too, but I don't know that as a very light Marvel fan that I would be super, super into it. But yeah, it's good. Definitely good. Definitely suggested, absolutely. And I think it's a pretty chill side game. It's very easy and quick to do your dailies. doesn't feel stressful, honestly. So if you're just looking for a chill game to play on the side, well, or like a secondary game to play with another game, or if you're just that person that can barely afford the time to play a game at all every day, I think it's actually a very solid pick, and there's certainly new dev notes to say there are future plans that you can check out as well. But yeah, that is all for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little mini-series. Sorry I took longer than the week-ish time to post it, but we'll see you in the next one. And be sure to use my link in the description or the pinned comment to download BlueStacks now if you're looking to play this on the PC. There is no PC client as of now for Marvel Mystic Mayhem. I did use this, and as said, it was very stable, very smooth gameplay, no problems at all. So be sure to consider BlueStacks for your PC needs for these mobile games. And thank you to BlueStacks for the sponsorship.